Now that we have our outcome questions completed, it's time to move on to the classifications questions. These are simply questions like demographics or behavior or usage or whatever else you'd like to enter into the survey, which will be asked at the end of the survey. So let's go to that format now and see what it looks like. Notice we have the paragraph here that explains what's going on. This is a little busier, so let me take you through it. It allows you to enter in various questions for classification purposes that appear at the end of the survey, and each question has a number of fields that you need to enter in for the questions. Here you'll see we have some default demographics questions. We have gender, we have age, we have household size, number of kids, employment, occupation, and ethnicity, and income. So those are the default classification questions. And you can delete a question by clicking here. You can add a question below this here, or you can add a question above it. By the way that they're entered in on this page is the order in which they will appear in the survey. So for any one question, you have a question name. Here we have gender, and that will appear as a variable name in the output. You can tell whether it's required or not required. We're going to say not required here. Or you can do a soft required. Well, why don't we soft require that one? That means that if respondents do not answer the question, they'll be reminded in the survey that, hey, we really need this information. Please answer it, but they're not required to answer it to move forward. We also have a number of question types. You can see those listed here. It's not as robust as a lot of survey programming platforms, but it's fairly robust to include most of the different types of questions that you want. If it's a constant sum question, you enter the total for your constant sum here. Here you enter the text for your question. Here we're going to say, what is your gender? I'm going to change that a little bit given the way that this question is mostly asked today. It's like, with what gender do you most identify? So again, we're entering in the text for the question, which will be asked at the end of the survey. And then you have your response options here. We have male or female. I could put an other in here, and I think I will. Other. And if you have other and you want them to write it in, you have to say specify here with specify in capitals and the word specify all in parentheses. That tells our survey to have a write-in space for the other specify. All right, so we have gender, we have age. Again, the format is exactly the same for each type of question. This is an open answer that we have here. We have a question below that, household size. And as you can see there, you can enter in how you want to ask the questions along with the options you want. We have a field over here to click to reverse the code. So for instance, if you have a rating scale, the way that the numbers are entered in here is 1, 2, 3, but if you want to reverse the codes for calculating mean scores or other purposes, if you click here to reverse the code, you see it becomes 3, 2, 1. I don't want to do that for this question. If you want to delete a question, which we'll do here, let's say we don't have to have number of kids here. I'm going to delete this question. So we have household size, and we move right to employment, etc. So that's how you enter in your classifications questions. Now, it could be that for your study, the type of question we have here is not robust enough to cover a type of question that you want to ask. To do that, again, this is considered customized work. We're happy to do that for you. There would be an added fee that you'll see how you enter that in a little bit later. But if you want to just use our classifications formatting, and which will allow you to enter a number of different types of classifications questions, you can enter those in. And when you submit it, it loads it into our survey. You'll have to wait a few seconds because we're updating our survey questions here, the classifications questions as you see. When that is finished, it should return us back to the Manage Our Study page. So we'll give it a few seconds, make sure that it does that. It takes a little while because it's a little labor intensive on the back end, and there we go. and it does show us that our classifications questions have been entered. If you do want to change them, feel free just to go here again, change them up, hit the submit button again, and the survey will be updated. Next, we have all of our content entered in for the survey, so we're going to preview our survey in the next video.